Right, so I have the questions off to the side here, and we're just going to pull some cards and see what comes up. Well, I'm not going to pull cards, I should say. I'm going to use jumping cards. And the first question we have is, what are the overall energies surrounding the family dynamic? Okay, so, there are some cultural differences that are coming about as the investigation unfolds with Lina. And I sense that could be coloring how people who are outside of this situation, outside of this disappearance, the onlookers, the people in the world who are looking and asking questions, they're like, what's going on here? And I sense that there's this cultural difference. So, Spirit, can you help us with understanding what is the overall energy surrounding the family dynamic? What was the family like in a way that we all can understand? Okay, we have the Lovers in reverse. Okay, Lovers in reverse. Anything else? If no other cards jump, I will stop shuffling. All right. Okay. Five of Swords kind of sideways like that. Okay. So some heavier energies going on here. Family dynamics surrounding Lina and her family. Spirit, thank you. Sometimes it takes me a while, guys, when I'm using only jumpers, but it's always for me worth the while. And sometimes it tells me I'm not meant to work with this particular deck, then I must move on. So I'm going to shuffle it a couple more times. Okay, Revenge. Oh, interesting. Thank you. Triumph of Lies. Oh, I'm not feeling so hot about this. Okay. Solitude, Fork in the Road. Anything else? I think that's it. I think we got some good information here. So I'm going to zoom in so we can get a closer look. Okay. The Lovers in reverse and the Five of Swords, as it relates to the family dynamic, can only zoom in so much. This is speaking to a dynamic that at times didn't feel like love was at the forefront. At times it could feel a little harsh and unyielding. And that energy is not just what's going on just between the family, but what kind of vibration that they're experiencing as a family. Meaning they have been oppressed. There was not a lot of room to worry about romance, for example. There was not a lot of room to worry about how to be the best parent. All they knew how to do was to survive. So that may sometimes demonstrate to the people outside of this family's experience, that may look like they're unloving, that they're uncaring. Like, for example, there was in the comment section of videos that were up about how the father was interviewed and how, people were nitpicking how he was responding, saying that must mean guilt. He kind of chuckled nervously and then answered the question. And so what I'm picking up on here is that there is a strong sense of survival mode with this family, within the family dynamic. That doesn't mean that love was never there, but that just means that things were very rough from where they came from. And that the kind of love that Americans are so used to seeing and witnessing and bearing witness to, and setting the standard for what is right and true for a husband and wife and a father and a child and a mother and a child, that goes against what this family has experienced and what maybe they even continue to experience today. They are still very much in fight or flight mode. That sometimes does not transpire, or that sometimes doesn't translate to them doing things the way that Americans would do things. People were questioning, why was this child so no one was, or she was not under supervision of an adult for 18 minutes. People were wondering, what was that about? Well, there's a lot of, worry, a lot of anxiety, a lot of feeling defeated, a lot of things weighing heavy on someone's shoulder. It could be the mom. It could be both the mom and the father. But it definitely, this is not a family dynamic that I sense that we all can understand. Not coming from a war-torn area of the world and not having to be a refugee, but nevertheless, it led us to this point, right? It led us to the situation of where they are at today. Revenge and triumph of lies, and then fork in the road and solitude. This is interesting to me. I'm going to zoom in just a moment to these cards here. Revenge and triumph of lies underneath this. Now, this could mean like an outside influence. An outside influence has something to do with it. Someone that they know. Someone who may, let me zoom back out. Someone who may live in solitude. Someone who has since gone into solitude since following all of this that has gone on. It's like, okay, we have the fork in the road card, and they went this way and went into solitude. Triumph of lies. Someone who is triumphant in giving and dishing out lies. Perhaps this is someone who was seeking revenge. Now, some people who like to suspect, the mom, or, they could say, okay, the revenge card and the triumph of lies cards mean that, she was triumphant in putting out this lie that she turned away for a moment, but really there was revenge on her heart, and she just wanted to do this to the father, for example, the father of Lina. Or if you looked at it from the vantage point of this is the father who wanted to seek revenge, on the wife or on a child, even for not, I don't sense that. I'm really not picking up on that vibe, by the way, just so you all know. I'm not getting a strong sense that the family was involved. I always could be wrong, but that could be a possibility with these cards. But also it could be someone who is close to them, someone who lives in nearby, close, with the Lover's card, someone who has now gone into solitude, someone who they knew. It could be a stranger, and we'll explore more I have other questions pertaining to whom this may be. Could be a stranger, but I'm really sensing that it's someone who is able to speak, someone who has spoken to the family, or even spoken to the authorities, or to even the public. They are, putting on a false face. They are lying. They're saying things, and maybe they've said their piece, and maybe now they're gone into solitude. They went in another direction. And this may speak to, like, if the family they may never see this reading, but if they saw this reading and someone interpreted for them, right, that it could be someone that is close to them who has now since gone radio silent, who is now quiet. who was once upon a time not so quiet. I'm just moving the cards over here so we can make room for our next question. Okay. All right, so what are the energies surrounding the mother's account and her level of involvement in this disappearance? Okay, so we're going to ask about the mom because, let's just put it out there. Let's see. We got Ace of Wands. Okay, Ace of Wands. What is the energy spirit surrounding mother's account and mother's involvement? We got acupressure. All right, I'm gonna now pull from this deck any involvement. I'm actually missing. Okay. All right. This is speaking clearly to me, but I could be wrong. So we have Ace of Wands, acupressure, and missing person. In the mom's eyes, she's trying to convey that she's telling the truth. She's being very truthful. She's new to the ways of, how to convey something in such a high stressful situation as a missing child, as a disappearance, as a situation so stressful as this. And she's trying to articulate it. When you not manipulate in terms of I'm trying to manipulate people to thinking this way. Sure, you could potentially say that. But I sense that because this card jumped, missing persons, this is speaking to she really genuinely believes that her child is missing, that her child has been abducted. Okay, so that's what I'm sensing here. I'm going to pull from this card. This is just surrounding the energy, surrounding the mom. Where do you have any insights into that? We got the Ace of Wands, and I'm just honest. I feel like she had a desire for this child to thrive with the Ace of Wands. Okay, is this me? That's the question that she's asking. Like, is this really me going through this? Is this really our family going through this? Has this really happened? How did I let this happen? Who am I as a mother to have allowed this to happen? I really strongly sense that, her mom, if she had any involvement in it, it really is just limited to she looked away for just a tad too long. And every parent cannot deny that there's been a moment where we may have looked away just a little bit too long, but many of us are lucky that nothing had happened in that time period, right? But some of us are not so lucky. And so I'm not getting vibes that her mom was really involved. I'm getting a sense that the account of what she is trying to convey, despite the language barrier, is the truth. Okay. All right. So the next question we have is, what are the energies surrounding Lina's father's account and level of involvement of her disappearance, Spirit? Thank you. Justice. Okay, jump. It was both upright and then reverse. Okay, so we'll read kind of all aspects of it. We'll see how the oracle cards are speaking to it. All right, so let me take my big deck here. Spirit, what are the energies surrounding Lina's father's account of what happened? I'm going to reshuffle because I want a clean shuffle. What are the energies surrounding Lina's father's account and involvement, level of involvement? Okay, we got struggle, sweet tooth. Okay. And I'm going to pull from this deck. weapons. Jail. And one more. If one more will jump. Okay. As I don't know. I think we got a lot of messages right here, so we may just stop. Okay. No more. No more cards to speak to this question. Justice in reverse or in upright and reverse. So it's just speaking to, this is someone who will do what he needs to do and have to do in terms of what he feels is right. And so, yes, at times he could be unyielding and unfair to Lina, to the family members, to his wife. But on the other hand, in terms of him being just and fair in this situation, I'm sensing that he struggles with what has happened. He was worried about going to jail. They are here, or not here. I'm not in the United States right now, but they're in the United States on what to them feels like borrowed time. Yes, there feels like an opportunity for the sweeter things of life, but there's always this threat that they could be thrown out, that they could be locked away, that they could do something wrong in this country and that leads them back to their old country. Now, some people would interpret that perhaps, he, with the card also kind of turning upside down, that maybe he had the propensity for doing something to her. And the weapons card indicates that, and that he struggled with this action. However, this card was both upright and in reverse. This is speaking more to, I'm sensing the struggle of what has happened, weapons being formed against him, all the words. And also, I don't know this for sure, and you guys can mention this in the comments because I don't know this for sure. I believe he was at work at the time, and I'm assuming that would mean that he has an alibi. So because of that, and because that revenge card came up, I'm sensing that maybe he has done something to someone else, or something else, and some sort of vengeance is being laid out against him and on his family. And so that's what he's struggling with. He's struggling with maybe knowing more information than he can release. There may be some level of knowing, kind of having an inkling of what may have happened. And not being able to fully share. But also, like I said, I'm going to explore in just a moment about, is this a stranger abduction, someone completely not known to the family, or someone who's completely not in that apartment complex or section of the town, of the community. Maybe it's just a complete stranger. But if it's someone that he knows, there is this just fear of further retribution, and not just from this person, but from an entity, from a governmental entity, from some kind of law with that jail card. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. What happened on the day or the days leading up to the disappearance? So we can go back, Spirit, if you wish, or we can go right to when it happened. So Spirit, can you give us some additional insights into Lina's disappearance, the day of the disappearance? The Hierophant. Sorry, I hit the mic. The Hierophant. What may have happened? There's more of a ladder here, an ascension here. I want to know, Spirit, was this like something where she wandered off and maybe, wandered into something? Or is this an abduction, or what is this? Doctor jumped again. Money. What may have happened? This card had fell out earlier as I was shuffling. I shuffled it back in, and I shuffled the deck really good. And I think that's interesting. What may have happened? Okay. In terms of like a disappearance happening, I definitely sense that the disappearance is as a result of someone else. Not that she wandered off, not that she fell. Now, it could be, because I know they were combing the lake and they comb it and they could discover, she drowned. But I am strongly sensing involvement from someone else, someone who they trusted, okay? Someone with medium hair color, medium to dark hair color. See that hair color? Sorry, the camera light's not really picking it up. The money card and doctor card, someone who's trusted, maybe even someone who has doctor in their title, or maybe from the old country, they were a doctor or revered as someone like a doctor. And, in this country, they have that same level of respect. Or maybe, you think that they would never have anything to do with it, but it's surrounding some money. An exchange of money, money that was not returned, owed money, debts, money that was supposed to be a sure thing that didn't come through. Working off something, doing something for money, surrounding her disappearance. Someone trusted, someone respected, moving up in a way, and this is what's concerning, the artificial heart. Someone who's really cold at heart and who has the job, or who shows up as someone who is caring, who's supposed to be in a caring position, maybe a position of authority, who cares, like someone as a part of the church, or organizations that are tied to the community, or to not their church, but their spiritual temple. That they go to. It's definitely at the hands of someone else, and it's tied to a sense of something owed. And I can't get over that. I just cannot get over it. And colorless angel is concerning, because when I see this ascension going up here, along with that ladder card, and the dark horse behind the angel, and getting the sense that a transition, an unintended transition, maybe it wasn't meant to really happen, but it happened. And so as each day goes by, it becomes increasingly clear that something has happened to her. Now, there are many instances that people will provide that say, well, many children who are kidnapped are alive and well, and that is what I hope in this instance. I really do. I hope for the safe return of Lina, and I pray for that. But I am concerned about some of the cards that are coming up in the reading. Okay, I'm going to set these off to the side for a moment, and we're we're now going to just look at, since I'm picking up on a sense that there's someone involved, can we get some descriptions or some understanding of who they may be, some clues. I really strongly sense it's someone in close proximity. Like I want to say, if not the apartment upstairs, it's someone, this card fell to the floor, it is the long hair card and the gap teeth. Someone with distinguishing looks about them in terms of gapped teeth or something distinguishing about their teeth. This is someone with medium to, caramel to dark skin and with long hair, okay? So, and like I said, this is someone who is, I'm not really picking up on a stranger vibe, like a stranger abduction. I'm picking up on, this is someone who is known, very known to the family. Hold on, actually. It's a keep. I actually want to use this deck. So I want to make sure. I was supposed to do Where is Lina next, and we'll do that. Two or more. So there's two or more people involved in this, and that tells me too that there are people who are actually involved. That's what I was saying. It's like it's not just a person. It's like, and then I don't want to say an entity, but like there's some kind of multi-layered situation to this disappearance. And it's not just as simple as somebody wanting a little girl or wanting, a little girl to themselves. This is something more than that. Okay, so two or more people. We got gapped tooth or gapped teeth and long hair and social media. This person may have even shown up in pictures in social media with the family. This person may be accessible on social media. This also can speak to how the family can do outreach in their little community in San Antonio, and then maybe connecting. Those people will connect with other people as well as people back home, and that could lead to further clues as to who these people are that are responsible for taking Lina, okay? I know that the authorities have classified this as now a missing persons. They've discontinued the Amber Alert, I think as of January 7th, 2022. But nevertheless, they are still going to treat this, according to them, the authorities, as an abducted child case. And I hope that is the truth in the case, because I'm very much getting an energy that she was abducted. Now we're going to ask a couple of more questions. Specifically, I just want to ask a specific question. We'll see if Spirit is willing to share it with us. Where is Lina now? I'm asking the Tarot, where is Lina now? Page of Wands in reverse. Where is Lina now? Father, uncle. That's interesting. Huh. Past life connection. It's kind of murky, guys. Yeah, I don't know. And sometimes it just be like that. Page of Wands in reverse. Father and uncle. That's what I'm saying. Like, where is she at now? In past life connection. Now, this is saying, like, I don't know if perhaps there was some sort of promise of something that was reneged on or didn't go through. And so someone close to the family, it could be even a family member, maybe not her father, but it could be someone close, an uncle, someone like a father to her, someone that she willingly would go to, who has now gone silent, who has now gone into silent or solitude, and no one has heard from them. So Page of Wands is not giving me a specific location. I could do a follow-up reading to maybe get some more specifics on maybe some locations of where they may need to look. But yeah, I'm thinking what I'm going to do to keep, well, no, we have time, because I wanted to ask what's next in the investigation. And I think we have a little bit of time for that here. And that may give us also some clues about where she may be at and what's next for this investigation. So what is next for the investigation? What's next for the investigation of Lina's disappearance? Okay, the Sun. Something illuminated is going to happen. Ace of Pentacles, but it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time for the clues to all come in, but it's not going to be like we never hear anything with the Sun card. The Sun card is very optimistic, okay? It is a very optimistic card that, yes, time will yield some results. Out of town. So remember how I was saying with the Death card, it could mean a new state of being, in terms of maybe perhaps it just simply means she was abducted, taken from one area to another, out of town. Clues will be gathered and received out of town. Mental health, human trafficking. So remember I was saying the money element. There's some sort of money element. These are all going to be revealed with the Sun card. Ace of Pentacles is about unearthing something, because things coming unearthed and being revealed and taking the investigation into a new direction. Now, in terms of timing, the Sun card does, yes, indicate optimistic things in terms of more information will be coming in. But in terms of the timing associated with it, it's typically July 21st to August 20th. The Ace of Pentacles also could speak to really gather and unearth some information that really will yield to a meaningful understanding of what may have happened. We've got mental health. The mental health of those closely involved, her mom, her dad, are going to be taxed. Even those who are investigating this case and matter, those who are close to the investigation, that will be taxed and weighing heavy on them in the coming months and year ahead. And it's going to be revealed. Sorry for all the cards here. I'm going to spread them out and take a picture so you guys can pause and look at them. But out of town and human trafficking. I just want to pause, or not pause, but just go into this for a moment. Whoever did this has an artificial heart, like that card over here said, the artificial heart. And they're cold. And they're not mentally well. And they are completely comfortable with moving someone out of bounds and trafficking human beings. Not bartering, but in the business of holding a dowry, holding a value over someone's life, holding a debt over someone's freedom. And as a result, moving the child away from their family, moving that child into some sort of human trafficking situation. But this is someone who I don't feel like is a stranger. I feel like they were close enough to be known as even maybe just an acquaintance or just seen around the complex. this is someone who, you know, showed up as looking like someone that could be trusted, but really in the end, they are not to be trusted at all. And clues will be found, but it won't be necessarily found right upon the complex. This is going to take them into a whole new jurisdiction, the investigation, I should say. There will be clues that take them outside of the jurisdiction that it's currently in. So that's what's to come. But I sense that, you know, I with seeing the Sun card, I'm holding out hope that this is just meaning that the Death card, the Skull card that showed up, and some of the other cards that indicates a transition, that this is just merely about her no longer being in this, you know, the safety of her family, but being somewhere else, and us being revealed and illuminated as time goes on. Or this simply could mean that the good news is that we will definitely gain some clarity, some insight, some understanding, some illumination surrounding what has happened to her. And the right people are going to find out. We may not know right away. That's why these things take time. It may take us time to figure it out, or we may get some information about that is unearthed with this Ace of Pentacles surrounding her disappearance, but things will not become really fully illuminated and understood by the key people who need to understand them until the season of the Sun, okay? And it could take some time. Pentacles tells me this is going to take some time to dig in, to figure out, to bring new information to light. Okay, this is not going to be a thing that just happens overnight, as much as we really want this to, and understandably so, because she needs to be back home, right? That's what we want here. So I'm sending out good vibes for that, and holding out hope that this is meaning that maybe in a year's time, the picture will become more clear as to what may have happened. But that's what I'm picking up on here, folks. I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to watch the video. If you got to this point, you are so amazing. And I am sending my heartfelt love out to the family and those affected by Lina's disappearance, and praying that she is returned to her family as soon as possible. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings about what's come up. And keep me posted, keep me updated on case updates, because you guys hear things and you let me know. And I'm always curious to hear what's going on with these cases that we've decided to delve into here on Mystery Mystic Mondays. All right, guys, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.